Good evening, everybody. Welcome back once again to another live cast from idjnow. I am your host, as always, Kevin. I have behind the scenes, you can't see him, but he's over there, I promise, Juan. He's working the board for us tonight. Going to watch the chat and keep an eye out for everything that is going on. Man, it's good to see you guys again. Do not adjust your screens. I did make a little change because I was lucky enough to bring back all of our employees. Great to have everybody back in-house. And some of our guys are now handling internet sales, which is also good news. Thank you guys for your support, for your comments from the last live cast that we did. It's just been fun doing these and bringing these back. And tonight we have a great heavy hitter, pioneer DJ. Tonight we're going to go over the DDJ Flex 6, the DJM-S7 and S11, the differences between both and who they're for, and we're going to close it up with the XDJ-XZ, which is an ultimate club mobile powerhouse, in my opinion. You know, there's other competitive products out there that like it, but I happen to lean towards it because I'm a big CDJ fan. Without further ado, I am going to welcome in tonight's guests. We've got Pioneer DJ National Demonstrators, PJ and DJ J. Juan, can you bring these guys in? What's up, fellas? You guys are muted.
How you doing?
There we go. Doing great, doing great. Jay, you there?
Making noise, so it looks like I'm muted?
Yes,
Speaking.
you are making the noisy noise. We're good. What's up, Jay? What's up, PJ?
What's happening, buddy?
How you doing?
It's good to see you guys once again. I'm sure the weather on the West Coast is warmer than it is here, but it actually is nice. We have events starting to come back. Things are opening up, and we've got some new products to talk about, right?
The season is starting. People need to be on top of the new gear they're going to use for the weddings and parties, and you know, I'm excited
100%.
to say it's looking like we're ready to go.
100%, man. It's been a long road, but I'm so glad to be where we are today, and I'm excited to see where we're going. Just real quick, so everybody knows who you guys are. I've got DJ J, who is the premier YouTube influencer. Like, he is mobile DJ extraordinaire. If you've been to a trade show, you've met Jay. You've probably had a drink with Jay. You definitely know him. I mean, he's unforgettable, and I get great texts from him all the time. So, you know, we definitely have some great vibes. So this is going to be a fun one tonight. And PJ, he not only is a demonstrator for Pioneer, but no big deal, but he was the first winner of the Red Bull Freestyle Live Mix competition. Like, no big deal at all. He's just, you know, whatever. He's also an instructor for digital DJ tips, and we are so glad to have both of you guys on board tonight.
We're excited to be here. Haven't seen you in person in quite a while, but you know, got to do a little something about 8 months ago.
Yeah, man. And yeah. I'm looking in the chat. All right, so okay. we got a lot of action in the chat already.
Wow.
This is awesome. This is gonna be tough to keep up with this. Good evening, yo, hey, what up? Some good ones here. Where you guys watching from tonight? Let us know. I see a few in here. Orlando, New Jersey, San Diego. Man, nice. I can't wait to get back out there. I just can't wait.
It's here right now.
So before we get started, I do want to say that Pioneer DJ stepped up tonight and has done something that we have not done on a live cast that we've done in the year plus we've been doing it. So we're going to give away this beautiful DJM-S7 this is my right shoulder, I promise. Couple rules, though. Number one, you must be 18 or older to win. I'm sorry, you got to be 18 or older. It's just the rules. The drawing is going to remain open until April 21st, and we are going to announce the winner on April 23rd in this year, 2021. Once again, DJM-S7 must be 18 or older to win. Drawing is going to be open until April 21st. Winner is going to be picked on 4/23. And Brian Marsh just texted me to let everyone know about that. So I got it covered, Brian. Don't you worry about it.
So
LA,
Brian,
Maryland, San Diego. Man, we got people all over the place.
Bill.
All right.
Sounds like Bill Marsh.
Probably. Bill Marsh is always here. We love it.
Yeah.
Let's see, Mexico. All right, PJ, we're going to kick you off screen for a little bit because we're going to start off with the DDJ Flex 6 and my man DJ-J.
Yes, 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 Kevin. I am excited to show you this. It's been out for a little bit, but again, now we're getting back into the vibe of doing events. You know, California just announced big openings coming up, you know, and there's a lot of outdoor parties. So you're going to need equipment. This came out, and the first thing I thought was amazing. 2 full-size platters. It's obviously a controller, but it controls Rekordbox or Serato. So regardless of which software you're presently using, you're fine. You're not going to get in any trouble. You're going to be able to transition right into it. Some of the big things that were brought out initially that, you know, people said, well, why did you do that? Why did you do this? We'll start here on the back. And if you look really quick, it's only got 4 sections. One for my master out, which is RCA. One for my booth out, which is RCA. And one for my USB cable to connect my laptop. So it's bus powered. So it's not necessary to run extra power cables. I can actually run this off my laptop. So a fully charged laptop, you're doing a ceremony, you're on the beach, you're somewhere. If you could hook up a couple wireless speakers to this, you're good to go. So it's got a lot of advantages. What's that?
Very, very convenient being bus powered, not having to fiddle with an extra power supply and losing or breaking a power supply, because we've all done that.
Yes, you're on the go, you're in the car, you want to practice. You've got a solid 4-channel full-size controller that also adds some tricks to it. So I want to just go over the top real quick. We'll start over here on the left.
Hey Jay, before you jump in, Jay, that jog wheel, is that the same size that we'll find on the DJJ-1000 and the 1000 SRT?
It is. It is. And it's really solid. Great texture to it because it's kind of slick on top. So it's got sort of a cool vibe when you're, you know, scratching. You're going to see a lot of scratching coming out of PJ tonight, not as much from me. That's not my thing. But I can tell you, you can cut it up on this thing because it actually has an added effect called a jog cutter. And what the jog cutter does is it allows you to have different scratch effects built into the platter. So when you're starting to do a scratch, where you would normally just have something go back and forth like that. Then if you push this button up here, you can go to different spots on the platter and it gives a scratch effect while you're scratching. So a great addition to, let's say, a new DJ, somebody who's just getting into it, but they have a sense that they want to stay with it. So instead of getting a small 2-channel controller, this is really the footprint they're always going to be utilizing. Very similar to something like a DDJ-1000. Even later on when I show the XDJ, you're going to see a lot of the similarity because we want to make it easy for anybody that gets into DJing to be able to buy this, utilize it, and then move their way up the ladder to other equipment. So again, the setup is very normal to us as DJs, especially if you've been using Pioneer DJ gear.
Right. And what it stands out to me is, and I don't want to get into specific price points, but being a 4-channel full-size controller, it does have a very attractive MAP price point in the marketplace. And that scratch effect is awesome for guys like me who've been in this for way too long that just never really worried about scratching. That was not my thing. So that's a cool little feature. Not saying I would use it on every song, but hey, if it's there, why not try it, right?
You know what? There's a lot that's gone into this. And we looked, I think, initially at what do you give the intro DJ who's new to this, the beginner, the bedroom, the part-time. And then as it developed, we suddenly realized we're adding tools that even seasoned pros could use. No, you may not sit on the jog cutter all night, but the fact, once it's on, you're at a wedding or something and you're just doing just some little scratch thing over a track, it's a much different vibe. And even if it's 3 seconds, it's easier than trying to figure out and do the practice time. Yes, this will also allow you to just do that, where you can sit here and just practice scratch. I mean, you've got a great crossfader. So the availability to learn as a DJ is always there. We've set it up that, a seasoned pro would pick this up and be like, wow, this is amazing. When I first got it, what I ended up using it for was Twitch.
And I could see the button layout is very similar to the other controllers. You got your hotkeys, you have your loops, But there's something that stands out just from that overhead shot, and that's the huge knobs on the top right of each deck. And I know I'm probably jumping ahead, and you'll get to that. If you want to slap me and stop me, we can come back to that. But those really jump out, and I think that's the biggest difference on this unit for me.
Well, and it's something that when you first try it, it's pretty amazing. What this does is this allows you to engage 4 different setup effects that you can preset. So it'll start with an effect, it'll add a layered effect over that, and then it can kill the song off. And it's a great way to transition mix. So just as an example, if I have something playing and I push the button, you hear that drum in the background, and that'll start to speed up. And if I want to turn it, I can even do it more, and it'll suddenly kill the track off. Or I can even go in and kill the effect off and let the track keep going. So if you're learning how to do transitions, you know, a spot like that might be a good one where you've got a quieter section in the song and you want to do a build up, you want to do some sort of a breakdown. And there's 4 different ones, but you can go in and really play around and get these amazing effects and then get back into the track. So it was kind of put in there initially just to get the new DJs, like how do we get them to transition? You know, we have mix controllers that have a filter set up with the crossfader, so it adds to the mixability. But this is where we really kind of went nuts with it. And once you get into Rekordbox or Serato, but Rekordbox especially, you can set all of the different transitions up ahead of time. So when you're in effect 1, bank 1, boom, and it does what you know it's going to do. I think similar to the jog cutter, maybe a brand new DJ would run with it on every mix. A seasoned DJ would look at it as a great way to get in and out of a track where they maybe don't have a good transition or they're running out of time. It almost becomes that emergency button.
Right. It's a really neat and different feature, because I mean, I've seen different iterations from some of the older Pioneer products. I remember some of the transition effects, but that is like perfectly on beat and just very creative. I see. Yeah. Hold on, real quick. I got Richard Chang just picked one up. The jog cutter is amazing. Let's see. Michael Stevens in the house. What's up? Trying to get on Facebook. How do you win? Juan's going to drop the link in the chat. It's going to be up until April 21st. So the drawing for the S7, we'll get back to that in a little bit. Back to the Flex 6. So we have the scratch. We've got the merge effects. We've got the jog wheels. I mean, this is pretty much a pro piece at not a crazy pro price. But what else do we have on there?
You know what? And again, we've got 2 sides for control that mimic each other. They're very CDJ controller laid out. You've got your looping up on the top. You've got your merge effects button. You've got your call. So if you're going through hot cues that you've already set up in Rekordbox, you can go in and call them. Coming down, we've got your cue and play where they always are, and then your bank of buttons where you're doing hot cues, slices, loops, samples. There's a lot going on when you consider that it's, as you said, the price point where it is. In the middle, you have a 4-channel mixer that actually has all the effects. We're pulling software effects. We do have filters on each channel, so it does make it easy. You know, it's a really nice low pass, high pass that I think is pretty deep. So everything you're going to need to do an event, you could use with this. I've talked to a couple of DJs on the West Coast. One of them picked it up because he thought it would be a great Twitch piece. He didn't want to take his full gear out. And he's now using it as a backup and a ceremony piece. It's got a microphone. Awesome. It's got booth out. And he's doing a lot in the vineyard country. So for him, he's doing, I won't name the name brand, but we both know which one it is. He's doing the wireless leads to his speaker. It's battery powered. And he's got this with a laptop. And he's like, I don't have a cable.
Right. So right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I really love about this, and we know that there's a very large Serato user base out there. So the fact that it's available to Serato DJ users is great. But I highly recommend anyone who gets this piece try Rekordbox, because you'll be pretty impressed by what you can actually do once you dive into that program. You know, everyone has their own personal preference. Everyone's been using Serato for a longer time, so yeah, it's comfortable. But I have to say, the effect layering, just the effects layout and even the program layout itself, I have converted, and I just love the stability and the feature set on it. That's just me.
I've used it with both, and it will do everything you need it to do, but I have to agree with you. There's a little bit of a depth within Rekordbox where you can change over the, let's say, the merge effects in a different manner than you can in Serato. But it's there to let anyone that wants to get into DJing. We didn't want to dictate something with this. We really wanted to open the door to, this amazing life that you can have as a DJ by giving you possibly all the options you could use.
Right. Awesome.
But yeah.
Anybody in the chat, do you guys have any questions regarding the Flex 6? Okay. So Richard, he has swapped out his SX2 for the Flex 6.
Wow.
I can play simultaneously with 2 laptops. No, with this, there's only one USB output, so you can either use Serato or you can use Rekordbox, but not both at the same time. What tier of Rekordbox comes with the Flex 6?
This opens the core plan.
Okay. Yeah, so it's going to open the core plan, which still, it's a full-featured version.
Yeah, you're gonna get everything you're gonna need to go out and rock any party anywhere, just out of the box. And it also, with Serato, it works with Serato DJ Pro.
Is the controller mappable?
Yes.
Okay. Mike, for finance options, hit either the website or give us a call during business hours. Is it mapped for Tractor Pro 3? No, but I'm sure you can find a mapping for Tractor Pro 3.
They're probably
just link like that.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I've talked to, the VDJ guys, and one of them is so.
Okay. And then next question here, how does the sound card compare to the DJ-1000? I mean, I think that might,
It's not on the same level, and that's due largely in part to the fact that this is more viewed as what initially was an introductory piece that has now caught the attention of a lot of professional DJs because it serves all the purposes they need. So sound, you're coming out with RCAs, you can then boost those up to TRS or jump them up to XLR if you need. I haven't had any complaints. I asked people specifically on Twitch when I would go from an XDJ-XZ to this, and I did kind of side-by-sides, and it wasn't something people started going, oh, this doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's a lot of people ask that question, and honestly, when you listen to the quality of some of the files they're using, you really can't tell the difference unless you're doing a direct A/B. That's almost the one thing in a critical environment with the right songs.
Yeah, I think if your back was turned and I asked you the XLR versus RCA controller, I think you'd have a very difficult time playing the same file. I'd almost guarantee it. And I know that as DJs, we have that hang up of, I want to see balanced XLR. But if you look at the numbers, and I've talked to people in the industry that know a lot more than I do, and it always comes down to, yes, this number is this, this, and this. But if you turn your back and you're on a dance floor, are you going to notice it? No.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially after getting a few drinks in you. Once you do that, everything sounds the same. I mean, at least that's my track record.
Yep. As hopefully you will find out at the Irish pub in August.
Oh man.
I went there.
I hope it's still there.
I went there. Yeah.
Isaac, does it come with Serato license? Yes, it comes with Serato DJ Pro. It unlocks it automatically. Does it work with Rekordbox DJ5?
Yes. That's what I'm using right now is Rekordbox.
Okay. So 5 and 6. So that's good. Awesome, Jay. Thanks for the tour on the Flex 6. I almost called it the wrong name. I'll see you in a little bit with the Big Mama Jama, the XDJ-XZ. Now we're going to bring in PJ to talk about the S7 and the S11. And once again, I do just want to remind you, we do have a link in the chat to sign up for a free DJM-S7. This is US only, unfortunately. You must be 18 or older to win. The drawing is going to stay open until April 21st, 2021, and the winner will be announced on April 23rd, 2021. If you win, I may come visit you and steal it from you. I mean, it could just happen. I'm just kidding. I won't do that, but I will be very jealous because it is a great machine. And PJ, we all know the S9. The S9 was a great product. It was a wonderful seller for us. It was really the first. I don't want to mention other brand, but it was the first major competitor from previous Serato DJ mixers or Scratch Live mixers, if you will. And it definitely had a major impact. And then the S11 was launched, and now the S7. And I think both of these are pretty incredible step ups from that product. So you tell me which one you want to start with, Mr. Three Style Live Remix Champion.
All right. So there's a difference in price between the two. They're at different price points. So the S11's $19.99. And the S11 SE, the special edition, is $100 more at $20.99, which has the paint job that resembles the classic DJM-909. And there's a reason why there's a callback to that, which we'll talk about a little later. And then there is the DJM-S7 that is priced at $13.99. So basically, just a broad overview on both of these. Who are these mixers made for? Well, both of these mixers are made for the open format scratch and battle DJs. Basically DJs who are tricky, who like to do live mashups, like turntablist type of DJs. And the S11 is for the pro DJ who wants to expand to 4-deck control. It's actually a 4-channel mixer inside in a 2-channel configuration. The DJM-S7 is the type of mixer that you can use at home to practice, but it's also good enough to take to your gigs. And it has a few creative features of its own as well. Now the sound quality between both of them are a big upgrade from the previous model. You'll really notice them in the phono preamps because the phono preamps are there's a fidelity difference, there's clarity, and there's more gain. But the DJM-S11 does take it one step farther because it has 64-bit dithering. And not to get too techie or nerdy about that, but what that means is you have a lot of headroom. It's harder to distort this mixer at the stage of the mixer than other mixers. So it's like if you do play somewhat into the red, which, truth be told, a lot of DJs do.
What DJ, honestly, what DJ do you know ever plays in the red? I've never seen anything like that. Oh my God.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the callback to the DJM-909, right?
Correct.
707 909. Right.
Yep.
And that was a great scratch mixer back in the day. So I guess if you want to just dive into that before we forget to circle back on it.
Well, there's a lot of the effects there were some of the effects which I was going to talk about. Like the ducking echo was added. A lot of the new effects, I don't know exactly how many, but there's 7 new effects. I would say at least half of them were borrowed or inspired from effects that were on the 909.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And there's a little
I didn't mean to break the flow.
Oh, no worries. No worries. There's actually a little Easter egg on the SE. If you remember on the 909, it had an amber LCD screen. Well, when you turn on the S11, but I'm not going to turn it off right now, but when you turn it on, it has the same amber startup screen as the 909 that even says Pioneer Pro DJ right on it. So it gives it a little callback that reminds you of that time when the 909 was the main battle mixer.
Right.
So, but yeah, both of these mixers share a lot of the same features. Number one, they're both plug and play with both Rekordbox and Serato. So when you plug these mixers in, you can use either software with no license, because it's hardware unlock. Now both of them have the upgraded Magvel Pro crossfader. It's 30% more rigid, so there's no need to replace it. It's not gonna break on you right away unless you really, really abuse it, but it's made to be more rigid. And then both mixers, let me switch to the back. If you can see right here, my name tag covers it, but right on the back of these mixers, there is a USB hub, and the USB hub is for when you use CDJs in HID mode. You can plug them directly to the mixer instead of having an external hub. it's enough. It provides enough power to power the phase device because it does give it 5 volts, and you can use third-party Serato gear or other types of HID devices as your external deck using the USB hub. And the cool thing about the USB hub, we know that this mixer can go to 2 different computers. So when you switch the input on one side, it switches just that one USB hub to the other side. So that way you can set up your HID and get it ready on just one deck. It doesn't shut off both decks and switch it over. So
that's a neat feature.
Yeah. And both mixers have that. Now, the things that were redesigned coming from the S9 is the performance pad sections. On the S9, we know that it had global pad modes. This one has independent pad modes. So, you can have roll on one side, sampler on the other, hot cue on here. Each side is now independent, but we took it one step farther. You can have what's called combo pad mode, which is any of the primary pad modes, like hot cue and sampler, you can have it on one side. So you'll get the first 4 of the hot cue and the first 4 of the sampler. And you could have something else on channel 2, like roll and saved loop. So this is 4 different pad modes at once. And you can reverse it. Yep, go ahead.
That's a great feature because I know a lot of people, when they set their cue points, they rarely ever use more than 1 or 2 cue points. So to have 8 on there, it's kind of overkill. So to be able to put, let's say, your rolls below your hot cues, that's a pretty good feature. And you're saying I can access either bank report from either deck?
What's that? Say that again.
I can access the let's say the hot cues from the right side from the left channel, or no?
Oh no, it's okay. More for each deck. What it is you can have up to 4 different pad modes because you have the combo pad mode on each side. But each pad mode is still controlling only deck 1 on channel 1 and deck 2 on channel 2. So
got it. Just wanted to make sure I heard that right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And each go ahead.
Quick question. This is a good question. Mm-hmm. Can you connect an XP2 to the USB hub?
Yes, you can. In fact, when you switch the whichever side hub you have, when you switch the input selector, it'll bring it to the other computer if you have 2 computers connected. The only thing not recommended on the USB hub is to put a hard drive because you will eject the hard drive when you switch the inputs. So just don't put any storage devices on the hub and you'll be fine.
Got it. Oh man, we have DJ Pulse on the Twitch chat. Yeah. Everybody's in trouble now. So the full question was, and I left out the second part, it was, can you connect XP2 to the USB hub and have functionality on a CDJ-XDJ? So Pulse is already handling in the chat. He's got it all covered.
Yep.
Of course. All right.
Sure.
So the S11, couple of things I want to point out that are a little different than the S9. Other than just the pad mode, the size. It's a little bit taller, a little bit deeper than previous, as well as that. So obviously there's a little bit more going on inside the piece itself, which has made it that. But I think it's a beautiful piece. And even the S7, even though it's smaller than the S9, to me it's still better than what the S9 was. Again, in my opinion,
it's the same size as the S9. So if you have a case that fits the S9 perfectly, the S7 will be a good drop-in. With the S11, it depends how big the cases are, because some S9 cases are a little bit bigger and some are perfect for the S9. So if it's perfect for the S9, only the S7 will fit. If you have that room where you can remove foam, the S11 will fit.
Right.
So it just depends which case, which model, which manufacturer. So.
All right. In the chat, any questions on the S11 before we do a deep dive? All right, go for it. I think we had some effects you want to show me, and go ahead. You just take over. I'm just here for the combo.
For sure. So I showed you the combo pad modes. Now some of the new pad modes on here. Well, first the pad modes are 4 layers. So you don't just have, say, hot cue and then shift hot cue to get pitch play. You can do a double click and get gate cue, and you can do a shift double click to get your user modes. So there are 4 layers to each pad mode. And then some of the new pad modes on here are gate Q, which gives you temporary triggering on a DVS surface. So like if you have a controller, you know you can keep the song paused and you can do momentary triggering of the hot cues. Before, you can do that on DVS because you need the DVS signal to be moving, like rotating, like. And then what gate Q allows you to do is to do that type of momentary cueing with a DVS signal. Now, some of the other favorite pad modes, we got transport mode. Transport mode allows you, so say you have something that happens to your DVS device, whether it's your turntable, you broke a needle, or whatever it is, and you can't use your turntables. You can switch to internal and completely mix with just the mixer alone, because it now has transport mode. And the feature that was introduced on the S11 that people really love is, well, one of them is the scratch bank. What scratch bank is, if you look on my Serato screen, I know it's kind of small, right here, this looks like the sampler bank, but it's not. This is a different bank. And what that is it allows you to load scratch samples instantly. So if you were playing a song and you wanted to do a scratch solo, you can do that, and then you can revert back to the last song you were playing. And the cool thing about the scratch bank is that each pad button is, you can set it so that it's a different song, a different track, and you can set it so that it can trigger from a different hot cue. So you could literally put a whole set, like a whole quick mix set, into the scratch bank, because you can load individual songs. So remember back in the day with the CDJs where you could set the hot cue. Actually, you could still do this with a CDJ standalone. You could set the hot cues at different songs and trigger each hot cue to go to a different song. You could do that with that's what you could do with the scratch bank. And so both of these mixers have 7 new hardware effects, seven new hardware beat effects, for a total of 22. Some of them were borrowed from the 909, like we talked about earlier. And then just a few things. It's a redesigned browse and load setup on both, where the load button is bigger with a smaller back button. This makes it easier when it's dark in the club and if you're not looking. And the loop buttons, while they look the same, they give you the option to do S9 style, where you can set the loop length, or the default on both mixers is Serato style, which is where you can select the loop length on the software and then hit the auto loop, and that's where it'll be. So now we can talk about like the unique features about the S11. The mic echo on the front. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Before you go into it, I have one question on here from Michael. Do the waveforms for phono input? I think he's asking, does it show waveforms on the screen through the phono input on the S11, specifically with the vinyl records? You would have to be running through either Serato or Rekordbox to see the waveforms. It's not just going to do it for whatever you put into it. To answer that one.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
You can't do a look ahead with the phono preamp with the phono input. So,
Joey, can you do what with the DJ-1000? Just not sure which part. All right, we'll get back to Joey if you can elaborate on the can you do that. So I guess let's go into the effects. I know the sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I saw the chat and I wanted to answer our adoring public, but go for it.
Okay, so there's a lot of different effects here. Some of them are independent echo effects. So for example, there is still a mic echo knob, just like on the S9, on the S11, except the knob controls are a little different, because all the knob controls does is the wet dry for the echo, for the mic echo. So that's changed. You can control the beat duration of the echo inside this touchscreen, but now all it is an echo volume knob for the mic echo. Now the other echo here is called the smooth echo. The smooth echo is basically a global echo that has different triggers, and you can use it for your crossfader, your hot cue, your silent cue. You can even use it for your load button. Now the cool thing about the smooth echo is basically, instead of having echo on when you're scratching, it triggers the echo as soon as you close the crossfader. So Now, the thing is sometimes when you're scratching, you don't want the echo to just be on all the time. Maybe you just want it on that last scratch sentence. So there's a setting called number of beats to trigger by. And if I set that to 1 beat, I have to leave the crossfader open for a whole beat of whatever tempo it's set on and close it in order for it to trigger. If I do it too fast, it's not gonna trigger. So watch, I'm gonna do this fast. No echo. And then there's an echo because I left it on long enough. Now, on the touch display, the reason why it's really easy to navigate is because it has this home button, an idea that's borrowed from smartphones. So whatever menu you're in, you can always find yourself to the main menu because you have that home button. So if I'm in the browse menu, hit the hamburger, back to the main menu. I'm in effects controls, back to the main menu. It's 30 frames per second, so you probably can't see it through my camera. Well, my camera is 30 frames, but when I play it, it's pretty smooth. And it's easy on the eyes so that you can get accurate monitoring of your waveforms. And it's bright, it has day mode on it, and you also have your settings utility, which you usually control on the computer. You can control your setting parameters in the touchscreen itself. The effects settings are actually here. And you have 4 banks that you can save of effects, and you can even control your color effects. So if you want to change the color effects knobs to a noise, pitch, dub, echo, or a wider filter, you can do that here, including the resonance. The smooth echo control is also here. Another way I was accessing that was holding the smooth echo button. And then the mic echo controls for the beat duration are here. And your waveforms is there as well. And like I said earlier, this is a 4-channel mixer, and there are controls for a 3rd and 4th deck right on the screen. And that's the big thing about the S11 is those 4 deck controls. You can control Serato decks number 3 and Serato deck number 4, and same with record box. So it doesn't just allow you to control the 3rd and 4th deck. There's a feature called deck move and dual deck on here that allows you to move a playing deck on the primary deck, a song on the primary deck, and move it to the adjacent deck of the other song. And if you want, I could do a quick demonstration of that, Kev.
Yeah, please. Juan pulled me off the screen, but just a quick question for you. So when you're using deck 3 and 4, you can actually control 3 and 4 from the deck itself, or you can use transport mode to control it?
So the controls for decks 3 and 4 are actually on the touchscreen itself. And there's a reason for that, because there's this mode called mashup mode, which locks 2 adjacent decks together, say deck number 2 and deck number 4, so you can control both decks as if they were one song. So if you created a mashup that you like, which I'll show you in a bit, the combined mashup that you created will be locked together. So when you manipulate the jog wheel, they behave like one song.
One song.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep. So I'm gonna just play this loop right here. And it's Lil Jon from Shots. And I'm gonna put this instrumental on the other side. So I'm gonna lock this side of the deck by initiating dual deck. Now I'm gonna do a deck move. So if you look on my screen, it moved that song to the right of channel 2. Now when I manipulate this deck, both decks are being controlled. So now it's behaving as one song. Now if you want to stop that deck 4, all you have to do is disable dual deck, and then you can stop deck 4 with no problem, or mute deck 4.
Pretty much unlimited creativity in that regard, for live remixing, for putting together your own edits on the fly. That's pretty crazy.
For sure. Some of the other things that I've seen turntablists do was to actually just offload an instrumental on the outside deck. And what they do is they start juggling acapellas on the primary deck. And that's one of the other uses that you could do with the offloading onto deck 4 or deck 3.
Man, that's next level.
For sure.
I mean, you would have told me 10 years ago I'd be looking at a mixer that's 2 channels that can control 2 decks at the same time, but run 4. I probably wouldn't have believed you. But man, yeah. that is best comment I've read so far. That's dope.
For sure. So I'm gonna move on to the S7 with about its unique features. So like,
sure. If anybody is in the chat, and thank you guys for the comments, for the questions tonight. If you have any questions on the S11, feel free to drop them in. We'll come back to them in a little bit. And now we're going to fire up the S7, and I want to remind you one more time, before I remind you the next one more time, we are giving away one of the DJM-S7s. We are going to hold the drawing open until April 21st, 2021. We're going to announce the winner on April 23rd, 2021. You can sign up by clicking the link that Juan is dropping in the chat on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. It's also got it scrolling across the ticker. You must be over 18 or older to win, and you must live in the United States. We will check. Definitely invite me over to practice when you win. I mean, I'm totally cool with not taking it, I promise. So we remember the S9. We know that the S11 is a powerhouse, and actually somebody did have a question on here. I will scroll back up real quick. Do the S11 and S7 have the same number of hardware effects?
Yes, 22 total.
22 total effects, no matter which one. And I know you said before that that the S7 is like a good practice piece or to take out in the road, but man, again, to me, it's an S9. You just forgot to finish the 7 and make it a 9. It really is a powerful piece, and it looks so sharp. Even the finish just looks a little bit different.
No, for sure, and which I'll talk about in a little bit. The loop MIDI is. It's something different. So
awesome. All right, let's dive into the S7.
So when I was saying that this is a practice piece, it's not so much that it's only for practice, but this is why it's a great practice piece. A lot of people who like to practice their scratches sometimes like to plug their auxiliary cable from their cell phone and play beats. Well, we know that a lot of cell phones now, a lot of smartphones don't have a headphone output. So this mixer is built with an onboard Bluetooth device. And right now I have this phone paired to it. So I can just play from this beat app. So now it's coming from the phone, and I can get my scratch practice on. And this is great because we know that headphones are no longer on smartphones. And for mobile DJs, this is if you're playing background music and you still need your primary decks, because this is only a 2-channel mixer, you can use the Bluetooth as a way to play a long mix or background music from your phone. And here's something that I'm not sure if everybody will like, but if somebody has a request, they could probably play it off their phone. So, yeah. Now, here's the cool thing about the Bluetooth. You have the ability, using the utility, to put the Bluetooth channel onto the main channel decks and be able to add effects to them. And they run parallel to the software deck, so it doesn't cut off the software deck. So if you have to mix something in, you can totally do that on that same channel. So the Bluetooth's pretty powerful as far as not just being one little input with a volume knob. You can actually bring it into both of the channel decks. Got it.
So, I mean, just jumping back, I mean, that Bluetooth feature is I think that's also great for changeovers too. If you have 2 DJs going back to back, instead of trying to find a CD somewhere, that's a great feature. And I can only wait till I get to do a party again, and someone hands me their phone, and I can just pair everyone to my mixer just to play their song. That's gonna be a great night. For sure. But that is a really unique feature, and I think that's another thing I've never seen, done cleanly.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is like you said, you can use the phone to switch over, but you still have the ability to use two computers on the S7.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So now I'm going to get into what makes the S7 unique, like very unique as far as creatively. You might notice that compared to the S11, there's only half as many effects select buttons. You got 6 on each side on the S11, while there's 3 on each side. Well, on the S7, when you hold down Shift, you notice that it's different colors over here. We got the blue. Each color is a different effects mode. So if you are when you click Echo, which is the beat effects, when it's all blue, you can access all your beat effects. When you go to all teal, it's all your Serato or internal effects. Now, what's over here, where it's green, it's Loop MIDI Bank 1. And then when it's yellow, it's Loop MIDI 2. The last 2 buttons are just a way to select your effects banks, which is the vinyl break and phaser button. You can basically create your own custom effects bank using the settings utility. Now let me show you what Loop MIDI is. Loop MIDI is basically a MIDI trigger that you can repeat. And because it's MIDI, that means this will work with any software as long as you can map a function to it. There's preset functions here, which I'll demonstrate in a bit, but the idea of Loop MIDI is so that you have the option and the choice to change it up with any parameter you want. So let me play this track right here. Now, when it's green, the Loop MIDI is triggering the sampler bank on the left side, and on the right side, it's the hot cues. So if you look on my sampler, it's like repeating the sampler. So when I play a song, let's start this again. And that's me using the Loop MIDI to trigger the samples. Another way you can use Loop MIDI is over here. When you listen to the track, I'm gonna select this one, which is gonna change the pitch. And to reset it, I just hold Shift, click the paddle. Now, what if I wanted to create a build-up? I can actually automate that pitch changing. So it's set to none. I'm gonna set this to 1 beat. So what you're gonna hear is it's gonna be a pitch change at every beat. So when I press play,
that's wild.
And then reset. And one little thing that I really, really like is using the cut on this side. If you remember on the 909, it had that little transformer switch that lets you cut it on and off.
Yep.
You can do that with the paddle. Now, if I set it to, say, a quarter beat, eighth beat, it's like the transformer effect, except now you're triggering it using the paddle. So that's what Loop MIDI is. It's a MIDI trigger that you can loop or repeat. That's why it's called Loop MIDI.
Nice. It's different. I haven't actually seen it demonstrated like that, and that's it gives me a lot of creative ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It's dangerous.
For sure. But yeah, the S7, like, it got with the Loop MIDI, it has a creative edge that's different. And with the S11, it's the 4-deck that makes it unique, along with a smooth echo. And they both can stand on their own as far as having creative features and creative options, so that the DJ can be an artist when they perform.
Nice. Awesome. So that is the S7 and the S11. Awesome job, PJ. Guys, let's give PJ a big hand. I think he did a great job here. Throw him right in the spotlight, right in the pressure. If you guys have any other questions, I'm gonna jump through the chat. Joe, I see that the link's not working for you right now. It's going to be up until April 21st. You can also check it on YouTube and Twitch. It should work, unless the link just doesn't want you to win. I mean, it's possible. Bluetooth function is definitely dope. Pulse, you are Canadian. You can disagree with any terms you want. Hernandez, I hope we covered everything you needed here. My mind is blown. I love seeing comments like this. Best feature I've seen all night. That's kind of neat. Okay. I thought Luke Mitty was a Star Wars character. Oh, thanks, Bill. I needed that. That was a good one. Awesome. So we're going to kick you off the screen for a little bit. We're going to bring, hopefully, back DJ J. We are now going to... Oh, what's up, Jay? We're going to talk about... Are we going to talk about the VM series first? I can't hear you. You're muted still. Hang on. We got to unmute you. Hey Juan, can you unmute Jay? He's still muted. All right, Jay, you're gonna mime everything. I'm just gonna. Oh, there you are. We're good.
Perfect. And I said so many great things. I wish I could remember them. These just came out, and during this time where a lot of us are streaming online or we're practicing getting ready for events, you don't want to go to the garage or storage and pull out the big gun speakers. You need something for a monitor. So, I go back to the old SDJ speakers, and these just came out, and I think they're fantastic. They look amazing. They sound amazing. And it's our new VM line, and we've got 3 in the series. We have the VM50, the 70, and then the 80. So each one goes up, obviously, in the size of the speaker. They've got some killer features. Just this front aluminum plate. It's a 4mm thick aluminum plate that's in there to not only help with dispersion, but also to take care of distortion, stability, sound. I'm going to turn this one around in a second and show you some really, really cool things. I think we as DJs, especially in the mobile world, tend to think monitors aren't for us. We're not doing production. What do I need them for? You don't want to blast the real big stuff in the apartment, in the house, in the garage, wherever, while you're trying to get ready for gigs. You want to let that stuff sit and relax. And these are made to just run continuously to really take the sound. Now, I mentioned I was going to turn one around. So I'm going to take the VM80. I'm going to turn this around for you, and I'm going to show you a couple things back here. Right up here, you're going to see the bass vortex accelerator.
Wait, the what? Wait, can you say that one more time?
The bass vortex accelerator.
That sounds like it should be on Star Wars 2 with Loop MIDI. That is insane. What does that mean?
Cousins to Loop MIDI. This is ported so that you get a better bass response, because again, we wanted to make something that could go from production to the office, to your computer, to the practice DJ, to whatever you're doing. We actually have 16 different EQs. So you can pull up 16 different combinations on top of flat. So, I'm not a producer, but from what I understand of everyone that is, it's always getting that pure flat sound, because then it's not EQ'd in such a way that it'll sound different on the final product. But for me at home, I may want to push up the bass. I may want to push up the highs. I have that option. So you have 16 different EQ setups. You have a more stable bass sound because you're porting it in the back. You've got the aluminum plate on the front, and you've got all the time and effort and research that we put into making these amazing speakers. I can attest, after using monitors at home, really was a saving grace, because I didn't want to have to go out and come up with a way to practice, go on Twitch, stream to Facebook, whatever, and try to monitor my sound with a big speaker and get yelled at by the wife and the kids and everyone else. So something that just came out. They're going to hit you up, of course, at idjnow for pricing on these and when they can pick them up and order them.
Yeah, we just got our 50s in today. Our shipment of 50s landed today, so I imagine the rest will be in probably the next couple of days. But hooked them up today, and we were very, very impressed.
Yeah, they really are, and it's the kind of sound that when I first heard them, I expected to hear a really big figure on the pricing. So I was pretty blown away at like, wow. I mean, not only great quality, but great value. And, you know, now that we're getting back to work, we still need to keep up on the skills. We still want to hear how the sound is going to be when we get to a big gig. And these really emulate any sort of a mobile setup, upwards of a club setup where maybe the club you're working in or the bar's got a little heavy on the treble or whatever it might be. So again, VM50, VM70, and VM80, the new VM line. The white ones that you're going to see in just a moment with the XZ, those are VM50s. So the 50s can come in either black or white. The 70 and the 80s only come in the black.
For now, right? Wink, wink.
You know. I'm
just gonna start I'm gonna start the new product rumor mill.
There you go. If anyone was gonna do it,
like a DJJ-Flex 7 with built-in monitors, it could happen. It could happen.
You know what? It's a Sinbad question.
Oh, Juan asked the question: are you going to give away this monitor? No, but I will give away a date with Jay.
There you go. Just gotta,
I think to me, it's worth so much more.
And I appreciate that. So I just wanted to make sure that we let your customers and everyone in the chat know about these, because again, they are brand new. And, with speakers, it's a matter of you'd love to hear stuff, but I can guarantee you wouldn't be disappointed with purchasing any one of these, because they're taking everything we've done from the SDJ to the Bullet, even aspects of the RM series, and we've put it into a new package with a lot of consideration, research, and design and engineering to make sure you're getting quality sound.
Yeah, and I noticed just looking at it, and I'm just seeing this really eyeball, that the size of the horn, it's almost the same size as the woofer on each cabinet. I don't know if that was intentional or...
It was intentional. And even this cover bar right here was intentional as far as giving direction for sound. This is not just a monitor speaker that you throw down on a table and go, oh, I've got a speaker. This was, again, engineered and researched to give an amazing quality of sound. As you know, we have our Express powered speakers. We have our XY series. We've really done a lot in the speaker game, and it's something that speaks to our heritage as a company going way back, to the TAD drivers back in the day. So it shouldn't come as a surprise, even if it does, that a quality product like this for sound is being made by a DJ company. I've said this before. If you're using the software and the hardware, the only piece missing is to be using the speaker, where you then have that triangle. And as we all know, the triangle is the strongest in nature as far as whether it's a circle or a square, because the triangle only has the 3 corners.
Right. We have a wattage question.
If I knew what a triangle was.
What's a triangle? We have a wattage question. Do you know the wattage off the top of your head of the VM80?
You know what? I don't know it, but I can get that answer to you that you could put in the chat. And I understand that the Record Box Ninja is lurking in the chat.
Sizes, they come again. They come in a 5-inch, 7-inch, and 8-inch, but I like small, medium, and large better. That's a much better answer. So small, medium, and large. Tall, grande, vente. Oh, that's even better. We will get you the wattage on the speakers in a little bit. These are a new product. I mean, I have a box behind me, but I think I'll just destroy everything if I turn it around.
Yeah. Again, they're monitor speakers. These aren't, if I had 2 of these on a table and 20 people in a room, would it sound good to throw a small party? Probably, but I wouldn't really advise it. These are, monitors are just that. They're to monitor your sound. So, I find doing a set online makes it a lot easier just to hook these up to my booth out and be able to hear it in the room without it being too loud at, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night.
Of course. And Pulse has come through with the answer on the VM80. The low is 90 watts. The high is 30 watts. And this might be the comment of the night for me. Life with DJ Cam. I don't know if you know which live cast you're watching, but we cannot give you a Gemini 15-inch subwoofer for free. I'm sorry. I can't do it. This is not the Gemini live cast. This is Pioneer DJ. Ask for their 15-inch subwoofer.
Wow.
All right. Are we ready to go on to the...
that was part of the deal with Kevin. I thought that was... No? Okay.
Oh, my bad. Are we ready to go on to the XDJ-XZ, or anything else?
I am ready to go. So I'm going to leave this area with my VM series. And as I do, I'm going to maneuver some of my sound gear. I'm then going to make my way over to the table.
It's like magic.
And in just a moment, you will come right back to me and I will be here in a different area, in a different place.
Oh, we got the wattage on the 5, the VM50 and the 70 as well. If you guys want it, the VM50 is 30 watts in the high and low, and the 7-inch is 70/30. Great stuff, Pulse. Thanks. Thank goodness you're here in the chat. We always need a Canadian in the chat.
It gets better because Pulse pointed something out that I do want to be clear about. With the Flex 6, yes, you could use it with Rekordbox 5, but since the merge effects aren't included in Rekordbox 5, you'd have to do some mapping. So I think you're probably better off just starting with 6 with the Flex 6.
Nice. At least he's not trolling you on the side.
No. That and stand up straight were the only things he had to say.
Nice. All right. So the XDJ-XZ, I think anyone who's familiar with Pioneer DJ knows the CDJ 1000, 2000, 3000, and beyond, and has seen, the growth of the XDJs. And I remember XDJ Aero, the RX1, all the different models. And this, true CDJ jog wheels. You've got full-size flagship, 2 USB sticks, Serato Rekordbox support. This is kitchen sink material.
This is everything. I saw this and thought, oh, this is more than I would need as a mobile DJ. And I've used this for going on a year. And let me tell you, this covers you on everything. I'm going to point out all of the big features, but I'm going to start with just this one right over here, this USB drive. I have 2 USB ports. I did a wedding last summer outside, very, very hot and humid. And sadly, my laptop's thermo shut down. I ended up DJing for 3 hours just off a thumb drive because this didn't seem to be affected by the heat whatsoever. So if you're out here, Southwest, Vegas, I've been in the city when it's gotten really hot and humid. This is something that is just such an amazing piece to have with you. Yes, you've got Rekordbox going. Yes, you've got Serato going, but to be able to then switch back to that. And one other thing about the USB drives, Kevin, I don't know if you're aware of this, but what I'll often do, I'll do a wedding ceremony. And on this second drive, it records. So I'll record the master output of this for the ceremony. At the end of the ceremony, I go over to the bride and groom. I say, hey, time for your first dance. They start their first dance. And what they don't know is I've scrubbed through that USB drive and I play their vows back to each other during their first dance. It makes for an amazing memory.
You are giving away trade secrets. Be careful. You got to sell these.
I will give another trade secret. This is another freebie. You go to do an event and they say the owner of the company, the president, the CEO is going to speak. Out comes the drive, in it goes, you record. Great speech, you walk over later and you say, hey, just want to introduce myself. I'm DJ No Request. Wanted to let you know that this is for you. It's a USB drive with a WAV file of your speech. If you want to do something later with it, video montage, put it to a video, whatever you'd like. Here you go, it's a gift. Next time they need a DJ, we need No Request up here. So it really does a lot. Yes, you can record it on your laptop. Yes, you can burn it to a stick, but being able to hit a button and pull a stick out and hand it to someone, it really goes.
You guys thought you were coming here tonight for tech talk. You come here for marketing and trade. Oh, you're giving this away, man. We should give away a Gemini 15 and stuff with this. Just kidding. That's actually an awesome feature on it, and I'm glad you hit that first because I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, no, it's an amazing thing. And as you said, it's 2 full-size platters. These are off of CDJ 2000 Nexus 2s. You've got your display in the middle. We're going to go to an overhead shot, and you're going to see all the information I need on the flash drive is sitting in the middle of my platters. So I know the time. I've got a WAV file. I know where I am in the song. I know what I'm pitching. I find I look less at the laptop now because I can do, I'm at 128. Oh, I'm at 128.1. Let me just pitch up a little bit. Boom. So that's a huge facet of it. Up here on the top left, 2 microphones.
Two, not one, two. Two with
yes.
3-band EQ.
Two. And you see this little button I just pushed that turned bright green. That is to get rid of feedback. It's a feedback eliminator. It's going after certain frequencies that traditionally will be that high-pitched squeal you hear. Someone's walking across the dance floor. They're getting near a speaker. You hit this, and it comes in normal and advanced, and it allows you to then take out that frequency, turn it off, and then you're back to normal. So 3-band EQ, 2 microphones, which as a mobile DJ, I think it's a standard. Even doing club where you've got somebody doing hype, you've got to make an announcement. It's an amazing piece.
And I just want to say, since you said mobile DJ, I think one of the things when this piece first dropped, the initial reaction is, oh, it's a club piece. Oh, it's this price. But the reality is, when you look at the features, just having 2 fully EQable mic channels with a feedback eliminator, 4-channel mixer, full-size jog wheels. I mean, I know guys that were doing mobile with the full kit with the DJM-900 Nexus 2. You are basically getting 2 CDJ 2000 Nexus 2s with a DJM-900 and 2 fully EQable mic channels, which doesn't even exist on that mixer.
Yeah, no, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I first saw it, and my comment to our product planning division was, it's great, but it's not something I'd ever use. Like, I'm a mobile DJ. I'm using this and this and this. Why would I ever want to use this? And like I said, I've been carrying it now for almost a year, and it's amazing. It does so much more than you realize it does till you need that. Even something like this, just reaching down to a touch screen where I can then, scrub through, get where I need to be in the song, hit a hot cue and go. Sample banks, all of the, pad modes that you'd need as far as loops and slip loops and samples. Everything is laid out as a CDJ. If I could cover the mic and then here, you'd swear it was a CDJ. Then I've got the 4-channel mixer. Let's be honest, this is a DJM-900 Nexus 2 attached to 2 control surfaces. You've got the same effects banks. You have the high, mid, low adjustment on the effects banks. You have the touchpad for the effects. You have the 7-inch touch screen. I mean, anything you want to do up here, whether you're going through Rekordbox, whether you're linking up to a laptop, your 2 USB drives, your menu, your browsing, everything you would do on a CDJ, you do on this. The difference, you don't have 2 of them. And you really don't need it. And the fact that everything is displayed for me so well, I can look away from things and get back to focusing on the audience, get back to focusing on where I need to be, not just, let me see what BPM is. I mean, it's really been a game changer for me. And the presence, I'm sorry, but when you're doing a big event, this looks appropriate. This looks like, that makes sense. This guy's brought, a gun to a gunfight. This is it's a big piece of gear.
It's a beast, and it's a total powerhouse. And I know we already talked about the 2 mic channels, but the other thing that's unique about it is that they are 2 XLR or TRS input mic channels. They're combo jacks, so you're not limited to, I've got 1 channel XLR, 1 1/4 inch. I only have this cable. Like, it's more flexible. Your output, master output, booth output is very flexible. The comments, I love it, Mike. I think you should give one away. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you DJ Pulse's number. He'll give you his. That's what he said. Is it compatible with Serato? Yes. Is it compatible with Virtual DJ? Pretty much everything is compatible with Virtual DJ, to be honest.
I have seen it online used with Virtual. So I will say it is because, those guys go out of their way to immediately go out. We just launched about a month ago. We officially launched a couple of pieces. I believe it was a DDJ-1000, and I'm drawing a blank. Pulse will probably put it in the chat.
Nice.
We're actually set up for Virtual DJ.
Robin says she'd love a backup for her 1000 SRT. I say you make the SRT a backup and you move on to this thing. I mean, that's my opinion. Daniel, I'm going to ignore that comment because this is a Pioneer LiveCast. So we're not going to talk about those guys. But yes, we need them back in stock too.
But by the way, Kevin, I don't really know of many products that come out. And again, this is something that was viewed initially as, this will be a club piece because it's so big, because it's full-size players, it's only scratch guys. That mentality is kind of gone in the DJ world because I think oftentimes we think DJs are still 1995. where you've got this one, and this one, and they never meet up. You're in a bar club situation, or even with just your speakers that you purchased from Kevin at idjnow, we have a 3-band EQ on the master output. We thought, you know what, DJs have become so much better at sound, so much better at big events. They may need to tweak something. They may need to walk into an event and find their system doesn't do them justice. Here you go, fully adjustable 3-band EQ for your master output. So if you're talking on a microphone, you've got a 3-band and another 3-band. If you're on a channel, you have a 3-band and another 3-band. We wanted to make this as easy for people to transition from any system anywhere. On the back here, there's an Ethernet port. That's if I want to hook up a DJM-S7 or a couple of CDJs. Because if I hook up the CDJs with the Ethernet port going on ProLink, I can now have one media source across 4 decks with one mixer. So it really opens up the possibility to a lot of options for any sort of style DJ, whatever it is you're doing.
Right. And I love that compatibility with the CDJs or even the DJS, because if you are using it in the club environment, boom, there you go.
Yeah,
it's flexible. DJs. It's very flexible, very, very flexible.
Yeah, it really is. It's a great piece, and I don't have to say I'm using it if I wasn't. So, I genuinely am. And I put a video up and everything. It was 115 degrees out, and this thing was a champ. My laptops weren't. It was just too much for them to bear. And I told the DJ in Vegas about this, and he bought one.
Yep. That's
a lot on that happens to us out here all the time.
I'll go back to my DJM-500 that I used to be able to fry an egg on while I was playing. That thing got hot.
Oh yeah.
And it never ever failed me. Never. And it gets hot and humid on this side, of course, just like it does there. A couple comments. Let's see, Robin. I was just kidding, by the way. I wasn't being serious, but of course, I think this would be a great main unit. Really hoping to gig soon. I'd love to be sponsored by Pioneer DJ one day. I would also love to be sponsored by Pioneer. So would Jay. So would Jay. Jay, what was it like filming John Wick 4? We just got to know.
I think one of the big challenges I ran into on that was
never seeing Keanu and Jay in the same room. Just saying.
No,
oh man.
Superman and Clark Kent.
All right. So what do you got to close out with the XDJ-XZ before we lose everyone? Because, we've been going on forever here. No, awesome piece. This is definitely a flagship product. Price. So for the best current price, I just don't remember the map off the top of my head, and I can't switch screens right now. But you can check our website, idjnow.com. You can call us, stop by the stores. We do have them on display. I don't know if somebody wants to give me the price. I'll give them the price. I don't remember off the top of my head.
I can say it.
Yeah, you can say it. I just don't remember it off the top of my head.
I believe 2399.
Oh, $23.99 is the map pricing. How much does it weigh? Jay can pick it up, so it can't be that terribly heavy.
You know what? I believe it weighs 28 pounds.
28 pounds. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Now, that's if I have a full USB drive. If the USB drive only has like a couple of gigs of music, the weight obviously goes down.
I wasn't expecting that one. Oh, that was a good one.
Do what I can.
Keanu did comedy. Oh, man. So this is the XDJ-XZ.
Yeah, any environment, it's really proven itself to be just an amazing piece. It's very reminiscent. You brought up the 500. It reminds me of back when I used 2 CDJ-1000 Mark IIs and a DJM-600, and it was just, you picked up the case, you brought it to the gig, you put it down, opened it, plugged it in, it ran like a clock, put it away. I never took the mixer out. I never took the players out for like 6 years out of the case. And it's very reminiscent of that old school kind of, just get in the ring and swing sort of gear. I remember a few years ago, and I, by the way, I have to compliment him. PJ did an amazing job going over the S7 and S11. He really, really did.
I agree.
And I think it was on this was on this, or it was on one of the DDJs that I actually showed PJ how to do the Peter Piper routine. So I don't know if you've ever seen, he does that.
Oh man.
May have been on this one.
Going back to the quality of Pioneer. I mean, I go back to the early days, but even like the CDJ 500Gs. But I remember my 700 took a bottle of water, and I opened it up, left it out, upside down all night, drained out. Next morning, plugged it in, it worked fine. So the gear is always road ready, rugged, reliable. This, I think, when people saw the initial price, we're used to seeing controllers at a lower price. This isn't just a controller. This is really it's two CDJs and a mixer, no matter how you look at it, or DJM 900.
It's a third the price of what it is.
Yeah, if you just do the separate cost, you're looking $2,000 a unit minimum versus $2,399. So it's awesome. It's awesome.
You're investing in something that you're looking at for down the road. This, here I am a year later, and it's not like I look at it and say, "Oh, I wish it did that." It genuinely does everything and more than I need. Yeah. It's amazing piece. It really is.
I don't think anyone expected that from Pioneer, because the focus hasn't really traditionally been on a mobile use. But once you throw that feedback eliminator and the 2 mic channels, there you go. George is asking, do we make a case for it? We have several case options. Just visit the website, idjnow.com, stop by, or give us a call. Either way.
Yeah.
PJ, did Jay miss anything when he was going over this piece? I mean, since Pulse is probably trolling him and sending him text right now.
Blown up. I'm sure it's Pulse.
He's sending us pictures right now.
If you wanted to use it not just standalone, you can use it with Serato and Rekordbox.
Serato and Record. Oh yeah, we did kind of mention that, but who wants to use Serato and Rekordbox anymore?
Well, but that's
the option's there. So
the option is there, and I traditionally do use this full time with Serato, or I'll switch over and use it with Rekordbox. But it's really the availability when you're gonna get a situation where it's just too hot, it's just too humid, and that's when all of a sudden fans on laptops start not producing, that lowering in temperature that you'd want them to.
Thermal throttling.
They're not, any more than the DJ's made to work in a 115-degree day, but we don't have a choice. So knowing that your gear will support you in those kind of places and times, it's amazing. Just amazing.
Nice. It is always great having you on, Jay. PJ, awesome job. I hope to do another one of these with you guys soon. I just want to remind everyone one more time, I think that's like the 5th time I've said one more time, we are giving away, or Pioneer DJ is giving away, a DJM-S7. You must be 18 or older to win. You must live in the United States. We're going to keep the drawing open until April 21st, 2021. We're going to announce the winner on the 23rd. You can invite JN and I over for drinks, barbecue, whatever you're going to make for us, so we don't take it from you. But good luck. Make sure that you enter. PJ, of course you can come too. I don't mean to leave you out. My bad. Just bring both mixers and your whole setup. Winner again will be announced on April 23rd. Also, don't forget the VM series monitors that you guys kind of did a sneak attack on us, and there's all sorts of other things. I've got headphones and everything up here. But we're really just giving away the DJM-S7 on this one. Guys, thank you so much for your time. As always, remember that to make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube. Make sure you follow these guys on social media. Follow Pioneer. Spam DJ Pulse's inbox. Leave really weird things on the Pioneer forums that he has to answer.
Clip you tags. There he goes.
Oh my God, that's go. Now we're going back.
Yeah.
But really appreciate you guys joining us. I appreciate you guys taking part of this. Always love seeing everybody in the chat box. And we're going to do another one of these. I just have no idea when.
We appreciate it, Kevin. And thanks to everyone at idjnow. We've had a few of these, and they've all been amazing. So really appreciate the support from everyone there. And everyone in the chat, thank you.
Thank you, John Wick.
J-Wick.
J-Wick.
It says John Wick right now.
Where's my puppy?
I need more coffee. I would love to hang out for some more, but I just can't. We've gone over an hour, and you guys are still here, so that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you guys again. Like I said, we're looking forward to everything open up. I just want to quickly give a shout out to the guys behind the scenes. I know we have JP over there. I'm not sure who else is there with Jay. PJ did a great job with the multicam setup over there. I have Juan here. Just, the whole retail staff in my Queens Fresh Meadows store and my Babylon store, our warehouse crew and the sales teams pumping out orders for our customers. We're doing everything we can right now to make sure that you guys are prepped and ready to go for your events. Stay safe, and we will see you again real soon. And yes, we do need more MK7s in stock, but they're on a boat right now, and I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's Suez Canal. Blame everything on the canal.
That's it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Take care. Have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Later.